All right, guys and gals, you did a good job on the first part of fundamentals. Let's pick up from there and see where we need to go to build a little more. So we've learned, tell me the terms that we've learned so far. What are some of them? Allocate.
Marginal cost.
Marginal. Scarcity. Trade-off. Opportunity cost. So we've gotten a lot of different words, and we're going to add some more to it now. This unit is a lot about vocabulary and being able to connect all these dots together. All right, so let's talk about factors of production. What is your goal if you own your own business? Why do people go into business for themselves? To make money. If somebody says, I'm doing it for the greater good, most of the time, they're lying, unless they are somebody that's already a multi-gazillionaire, and they have the time to do that. 99.9% of people go into business for themselves because they want to make money. All right? Well, when you get ready to set up your own business, there are factors of production that you must have. Let's start with the bottom one, because to me, that's actually the most important one. The first one is entrepreneurship. We mentioned this a little bit earlier. What is an entrepreneur?
Somebody willing to take the risk.
Somebody that, hold on to your thought, Michael, it's the person who owns the business, and they are, Michael, say that louder.
Somebody willing to take the risk.
To take a risk. What's that about? What does he mean? Taking a risk. Megan, what does he mean by taking a risk? If you're the entrepreneur, you own the business, what risk are you taking?
You probably can lose some money.
Failing. And where did the money probably come from to set this business up?
His pocket. A loan.
Your pocket or a loan. Now let me ask, if your business fails, you don't have to pay back that loan?
You do.
You do still have to pay back that loan. So you're taking a huge risk when you step out to become an entrepreneur. All right, so first ingredient, we've got our entrepreneur. All right, so we use the example of the body shop yesterday. So let's review that a little bit. So we've got Ashton's Body Shop, entrepreneur. Is the owner, risk taker, and in our example, that is Ashton. All right, his dream is to own a body shop. All right, so the next thing Ashton's got to have, once he's decided his plan, what is the first thing he has to have?
Place.
Got to have a place. He's got to have somewhere to open this body shop. So that factor of production is called land. So Ashton, any ideas where you want to put this body shop? Do you already have land or thoughts? No. All right. Do you want it out in the country? Do you want it in the city?
Like the Florida, Georgia line, because a lot of traffic comes through there, like big trucks and stuff.
Oh, so he wants to be near the Georgia-Florida line, where all those big trucks are coming back and forth, and it is kind of empty for a ways through there. So if they get in a tight and need to have something fixed, they also have that checkpoint at that point because they're crossing from one state to the next, and they have to pull through and go through an inspection. So there's an opportunity. So he needs to have the land. And it also includes natural resources on the land. What would be some natural resources? Trees, water, okay, those sorts of things. And then it is also the improvements he makes to the land. So what if he comes in and brings dirt to level it out and landscapes and does all these things, and he paves and does, is that improvements to the land?
Yes.
So that's part of it. All right, the next thing that he has to have is labor. What is labor,
Workers.
Caleb? It is your workers. All right, now you threw out some ideas for us, Ashton, yesterday. Tell me what some of those were.
Painter.
Painter.
Welder.
Welder.
Electrician.
Okay, electrician. I think we talked about a secretary or receptionist. Mechanic.
Yeah, I believe he's a mechanic.
And you said that you wanted a regular mechanic and you want a diesel mechanic. So, right off the bat, Ashton's going to have a pretty large payroll because these people aren't going to come cheaply. Then, you've got to have your capital. Now, what is capital?
Tools.
Your tools, your equipment. So look at this. Capital, human-made resources. tools and equipment used to make products or deliver services known as capital goods. All right, so let's talk about capital goods then. In his business, what are some things that, I mean, he's got the people, he's got the building, he's taking the risk. Is that enough? He's got to have all the stuff to be able to be a body shop. So, he's already said air compressor, lift. What else do we say?
Oxygen tanks.
Okay, well, you need oxygen tanks?
For the water.
Yeah, oxygen with gas, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just say, so you're going to need
A welding machine.
a welding machine, and we'll say all the stuff that goes with that, welding machine and all the stuff with it.
A painting. Like,
Okay, a painting machine. All right, big, expensive items to have to purchase. He's going to need all sorts of tools to be able to work, not to mention his supplies. He's going to need parts and those sorts of things, which most of the time body shop owners don't order those parts until when?
They need them.
They need them. And they know that they're going to have the money to pay for them based on an insurance check or based on the person that's wanting it done. So this is an example of the 4 factors of production. All right, so let's use another example then. Let's say, Devin, you said that you work with maintenance with the board. Let's say you decided you wanted to open your own lawn and garden center. Could we do that? Like you want to do your own lawn and garden service. Okay, is that okay? So Devin's going to do a lawn and garden service. Now he has to, where does Devin fall on the 4 factors? He's the entrepreneur because he is the owner and risk taker. All right, now Devin, what about land for Devin? What is he doing?
He's mowing people's land.
He's mowing people's land. So does he actually have to have a building?
No.
He's probably going to need what?
a
A truck and a trailer so that he can haul what he needs to go do it. So Devin's is a little different scenario. The land is part of what he's doing. All right, now, labor. What kind of labor would you need?
I need more work, and that's it.
Might need a couple workers to do what you tell them to do. Is it conceivable that Devin could start out by himself and cut out labor?
Yep.
Yes, and actually it's very smart as an entrepreneur to start small and build from there. Don't start out with 10 employees in a lawn care service. Don't get 10 employees until you've got enough jobs to be able to need 10 employees. So yes, Devin could go and he could print him up some business cards and say that he's got Devin's lawn service, leave it at some local businesses around here, and let people call him and get him to come and take care of their yards. Now, what then, if he doesn't need land and he doesn't need labor yet, he's not going to hire labor, he will need some capital. What capital would you need in a lawn care business?
Lawnmower.
A lawnmower, weed eater, shears to be trimming up the hedges, hedge clippers,
Probably a tractor.
possibly a tractor depending on the size of the lawns that you're going to be doing. Might need an edger, might need a leaf blower because of driveways and leaves, rakes, shovels. All of those things are things that Devin would end up needing to purchase. So his big areas are actually going to be entrepreneur, him, and capital. It will be cheaper for him to not have to do the land and do the labor at this point. Do we understand those points? Okay, so let's go one further. Rational decisions. All right? You do these every day and you're not even aware of it. 1, you weren't here yesterday, so let's do that. Will you do an activity with me? I'm going to pretend that you've got $10. I'm going to give you $10. When you leave school today, you're hungry. Now, where might you go? What are a couple of places that you would go to spend that $10? McDonald's. And give me another place you might go. Maybe somewhere that's a little more pricey. Jen's. Okay, good choices. So he's got McDonald's, which is a well-known fast food restaurant chain. And then he's got Jen's, which is a Chinese buffet that is local just here in our town. All right? Now, Jen's is usually buffet. And what does their buffet run in cost?
About 10.
Right at $10. So if you go to Jen's, you understand you're going to spend the whole 10. If you go to McDonald's, you could order off the